Caroline here. You know, there's nothing more satisfying than reaping the rewards from your vegetable patch after you've worked in it and planted things. And I'm very fortunate because my husband is absolutely amazing, and we've had quite a few vegetables this season. Unfortunately, the birds seem to like our vegetables as much as we do, and are trying to eat them, especially our little tomatoes, off the tomato bushes before we even get a chance to let them ripen. And so instead of letting them eat them all, I've decided that we're going to try and do something with the green tomatoes off the bush. So I'm going to be making today a no sugar green tomato relish that I'm hoping is really, really delicious. And I will put a link at the bottom of my blog post as to where I got the recipe from. And yeah, it's a really fulfilling thing to be able to do, to enjoy your vegetables, to enjoy your fruit. And we're finding more and more that as we plant new things in our backyard, and we reap the rewards of it, that it's a really, really great way to eat organically, to eat knowing that our food is healthy, it's wholesome, it's organic, and it's really, really fresh. So come along with me today. This is going to be an interesting exercise because I've never really tried a video myself while cooking and talking. Okay, so here are my ingredients. Obviously I've got some jars for bottling when I'm finished and a big pot to cook in. The ingredients are, and these aren't the exact right amounts, I've still got to measure them out and weigh them out, but some sweet red peppers. The recipe actually calls for jalapeno chilies, but as far as I know, the jalapeno chilies are very, very hot and spicy, and I'm not very good with super hot, and so I'm just going to substitute them with the milder green chilies here. And then you have the tart Granny Smith apples, some onions, and of course my green tomatoes. There are a few red ones in there I'm going to have to pull out. And then added to that obviously are some herbs and spices, which you'll see as we go along. Okay guys, chopping up the ingredients for the tomato relish actually ended up being way more time consuming than I actually imagined it would. I probably got runny mascara from chopping up all the onions that I had to chop up, but yeah, it just, if you're making this recipe, just be aware that it actually does take some time to chop everything up. Now, my little tomatoes are just tiny little green ones, and so they're too small to skin. But if I was doing this recipe with big green tomatoes, which I'm not, I would actually skin them first and put them in a pot of boiling water just for a few minutes and actually remove the skins before chopping them up, because I am a little concerned that I might end up with little bits of skin from these tomatoes in my relish at the end that I'm hoping actually won't ruin the overall effect, but I would actually skin it if I was using bigger tomatoes. So just keep that in mind if you're making this recipe with bigger tomatoes. Okay, so this is what it's looking like at the moment. I've had to divide the quantities up equally into two pots, and it's boiling away very nicely now, so I'm going to pop a lid on it and actually start to simmer it. And on the other side, here's my other pot that's just starting to simmer now. And I'll leave it for about an hour until it thickens up and becomes quite saucy. Yeah, so I've got to pop some lids on that and just let it simmer away. Hi guys. Right, so the tomatoes are on the stove now, and they're actually just simmering away nicely until they become quite thick and saucy. I'll just leave them for about an hour in the pot, as the recipe says, but obviously keeping an eye on it and stirring it every now and again. It's smelling so yummy and so delicious, and I'm actually really looking forward to tasting it. So if you're going to bottle them, make sure you have sealable jars that will seal firmly. I'm not planning to store mine in a pantry for months on end, so I'm just going to be popping mine into the fridge, and I reckon we will eat it pretty quickly in our family because we're a big family. But yeah, just make sure that your jars are sterilized and clean and ready to go once you are finished with the simmering process. So yeah, all good. And now while it's simmering, I guess that all that's left for me to do is to go and have a cup of coffee. Well, my tomato relish is now finished simmering. I've taken it off the stove and I couldn't wait to taste it. So I took a spoon and stole a bit. And I have to tell you, it tastes absolutely delicious. It's one of the nicest relishes I've tasted. It's not quite cool yet. So I imagine that those flavors, once it even cools down, will taste even better and more delicious. So I really want to encourage you to give this recipe a try. It's truly a nice accompaniment to a meal. And I'm looking forward to actually trying it with various foods and flavors. And yeah, what a great way to use green tomatoes if the birds or other animals are eating them off your bushes, and you're not finding that you can get them quite to ripening points. So yeah, it's just a fantastic way to use them and to make sure they don't go to waste. So enjoy the recipe, and thanks for joining me on Create with Caroline this morning.